Yo, what's going on, and welcome back to another Genshin Impact video, and today we are going to be summoning for Ganyu. Now for summoning, we've brought ourselves up to the top of this giant spire thing floating above Dragon Spine. Just seems like a good place to summon for Ganyu because it's right above the domain where I've been farming for all of her artifacts and stuff. Now, this could be part 1 of summoning. Oh, we have an achievement. I forgot. I just got an achievement because I also just completed the tree. Yeah, give me those primo gems and that nice little emblem. What emblem do we have right now? We have Klee's emblem. Let's go ahead and change to this new emblem. It looks good. But I have enough summons to hit pity one time. And then from there, we will probably purchase enough summons to hit pity again if we don't already have Ganyu. Now, I've been talking about possibly going for more than one Ganyu. I think priority number 1 is get a Ganyu, and then we'll go from there. If we get it super early, then maybe we'll consider going for more. But like, the difference between having a Ganyu and not having a Ganyu is much bigger than the difference between having a C0 Ganyu and having a C6 Ganyu. So we're gonna start with step 1 and then we'll figure it out from there. But we'll see how this summoning session goes. Could be a quick Ganyu and then we might just try and go for an immediate another one. Could be that it drags us all the way out and we get someone else along the way, like a third Diluc, but let's find out. We're gonna do single wishes because that is just my style for trying to save as many wishes as possible. Because the next character I think that's coming up that I want is Hu Tao. I don't really care about Zhao that much. I know everyone loves Zhao, but he's not really on my list of things to grab. I'd rather have Hu Tao. But I also don't know if she's coming before Zhao, after Zhao, or even coming at all in the next update. No one really knows. We'll figure it out in good time, but let's start with our Ganyu wishes. Now, as far as the other characters on the banner go, oh, we could probably start skipping the normie stuff. As far as the other characters go, Xiangling is a character that was my first, like, DPS character. I used her for a long time, and she's level 70 currently, not ascended to get to level 80 yet. But she doesn't have any constellations. So, if I ever want to use her, the constellations are obviously going to help. And the fact that I already have her leveled means that it wouldn't be that hard for me to use her in the future. But I don't think that I'll use her just because I have Klee, and I recently pulled Diluc, and I just got Bennett, which I also want to use, but I'd rather get C1 Bennett first. So there's probably Xiangling is on the back burner for now. Now, Noelle constellations are very good because I think that is C5 Noelle for me. It's either C4 or C5 Noelle. I can't quite remember. And I really want C6 Noelle because she's my main healer at the moment. So C6 is just going to make her way better, and I have like all of her artifacts ready. I just haven't leveled a few of them. So I think once I completely finish her build out, she's going to become really, really powerful. Right now, she's just kind of a pretty decent healer and very hard to kill because she has a lot of defense. But she doesn't bring a whole bunch of damage to the table quite yet. I think when I finish her build, it will make her tankier and make her do more damage. So I'm hoping for C6 on our way to getting Ganyu here. And then Jingqiu is another character that I really would like to use. I think I have C3 or C4 Jingqiu already, but I haven't actually used him at all. I think he's a fantastic character that I would like to make use of, but we haven't quite gotten there yet. I have not been keeping track of our summons. We're on 12. I know that for a fact. Now, hold on, I'm gonna actually pull up something to help me keep track here because otherwise I'm gonna get lost as to how many we've actually done. So now I'll be keeping track of it in tens, just to make it a little bit simpler. We are not pulling a lot of 4-stars. We've only hit the, I think we hit the pity for a 4-star on like summon 8. I think they're somehow desynced because of when I pulled my 5-star compared to the 4-star. So we already got another 4-star, which I think this one's earlier, and this one's also a Xingqiu. We're looking for those Noels. I think Noel is the biggest one. And if we could pull a Bennett miraculously out of this, that would also be awesome. Because I would probably just use Bennett as my main healer if I had C1 Bennett. Now, last time we did summoning, obviously we got our first Bennett for C0 Bennett, which was pretty cool. But I just don't think he's nearly as potent without that C1. Because the C1, he has a restriction on his heal where it only heals you up to 70% of your max HP. And then after you're at 70% of your max HP, it gives you an attack buff. So that's 20 summons. But it gives you an attack buff after that. But if you get a C1, it removes that restriction. So then you're always getting healing up to 100% of your max HP. And you're always getting the attack buff. So he just becomes way better when he's actually C1. Which makes him one of the best characters in the game. But now that we've talked about a whole bunch of 4-stars, those are the 4-stars I would like to see. I think Noel, Bennett, and then just whatever. So Noel and Bennett are my two primaries. Probably Noel first, Bennett second. But Bennett's obviously going to be a lot less likely. But now, let's talk about Ganyu. Now Ganyu, when we used her, she's obviously incredibly strong. But the thing about Ganyu, with C0 compared to C6, is her gameplay doesn't change a whole lot. Some characters' gameplay can dramatically change, like how useful Bennett is with removing the health restriction. A Rust, huh? I don't really use Rust, but I know it's a good bow, so if I ever get someone that it works really well with, I would consider it. I just don't think it's going to be Ganyu's bow, so... But yeah, some characters dramatically change with some of their constellations, like Noelle's not really a good healer until you have her first constellation, and then she doesn't become like really good until you get 6 constellations with her, in my opinion. But like other characters like a Ganyu, her gameplay doesn't change that much. Like, yeah, she gets a second charge of her little dash back, and she gets like the insta shot after doing that. But other than that, her constellations are really just supplementary to making her abilities better. And I don't think that those two constellations change how her gameplay works that much. You're still going to use your dash back to keep you safe, and that's 30 summons now. So we're definitely not popping an early one here today, which would have been nice, but I don't think I've ever gotten a single 5-star before 50 summons. And most of my 5-stars are at 80 summons. I think the best I did one time is I got Venti around 60 summons. I think it was like 56 or something. But yeah, so Ganyu, you're still using her E dashback to keep you safe. And granted, with the 2 charges, you might just use a charge for damage randomly. I forgot to count this down. You might use a charge for damage because you get the damage from popping it, and then it'll blow up and it'll taunt everyone and it'll do all its damage. But since you have the second charge, you can always just save the second charge for when you really need it. And then it also provides you with the instant charge shot, her level 2 charge shot after doing that. So you might, if you have 2 charges, just waste one for extra damage. Here's our first Xiangling. So far we've gotten all of the 4 stars and a Rust as our items, which is fine. I'm just looking for a second Noel here because I think one more Noel is all we need to bring her to Constellation 6 and finally make her just really powerful in giving me both damage and survivability. There's official. It's always Fischl. I swear, like Jingcho and Fischl are the only two 4-stars I pull randomly out of banners. But whatever. I mean, Fischl's always good. We don't have max constellation Fischl, but she's getting there. She's like C4 or C5 now. I think C4. What else is there to talk about? So Ganyu, her instant charge, even though it's her C6, I mean, that one is really hard to get to that C6, but I think that's one of the best things about her, just because her auto attack charge is so strong. So that's 40 summons now, right? Or am I wrong? I believe that's 40. Because we did 10, and then we used 5,000 gems, so that's 40, yeah. But yeah, her auto attacks, people weren't really expecting her charge level 2 auto attack to be so strong. So the fact that you can get an instant one off just makes her incredibly good. Now, the instant isn't that fast because you do actually have to aim. It's not like you can just auto attack and it comes out. You have to actually do an aimed shot for it to instantly charge and let you fire it. So it takes you a second. Obviously, the better you get at instantly aiming at someone, the more damage you're going to be able to get out of that. But if you're not very good at it, then it might take you like half a second to actually get the instant charge off, which then brings it closer to just regularly charging a shot. So that one is kind of like player skill based on how good it is. But I think C4 is where she gets her huge buff, because it makes it so anyone inside her elemental burst takes more damage, 5% for every 3 seconds they're in there. And since you can have her elemental burst up forever, eventually you'll get them to the max of 25% extra damage. Okay, so there's our Noelle. That should be C6 Noelle. If I'm mistaken, then that's unfortunate, but we'll figure it out later. But yeah, once she has it fully stacked at that 25% extra damage, then you can essentially just keep spamming your elemental burst on top of people, and it will keep them at that 25% extra damage. So it works really well on bosses. And here's Dragon's Bane. I don't actually have Dragon's Bane. I don't know what it does. It's probably perfectly fine. So this is 50. Nothing, huh? Alright, well. I mean, looks like we're in the long haul for getting Ganyu. Luckily, I made sure that we had enough summons to go the distance. Because it seems like we are gonna be going the distance here. And going for speed, if you know that song. But I mean, now we just need to pull Ganyu, right? Like, talked about all the characters that we want to pull. We need to pull a Bennett and we need to pull a Ganyu. I don't foresee the Bennett happening, but I mean, last time all I wanted was a Bennett from the standard banner and it gave me a Bennett. So the possibilities are endless, really. Anything could happen. We could get Ganyu any summon now. Is it gonna happen? Maybe not, but it could happen. Now it's gonna get confusing once we get into the crystals, cause I haven't quite calculated where our summon increments are in the crystals, so we'll have to get that done real quick, but we'll figure it out. The crystals, most of them are left over from Zhongli, because we only went to like 75, I think, flat with Zhongli. So that was pretty nice. Saving 15 summons to actually get him. Here's another 4-star. Still no Ganyu quite yet, but there's another Noelle. Okay, so we do have max constellation Noelle because this one is giving 5 of this stuff. So that means we are done with our Noelle. Now, the good thing about once you get someone max constellation is 4 stars give you 5 back. So essentially, if you summon a 4-star, you can use 5 to go buy another summon. So they're essentially free. So that is 60 right there. Now we got to do some math, because I don't know exactly how many crystals we have. No, show me the crystals. So if we take that amount of crystals, and you can see I haven't bought that many of the packs. I bought the 15 and the 30 because that's all I need with all the free stuff that I've earned. Okay, so now we got the amount of crystals we need to get to 70 summons. So let's keep going. What were we talking about? Oh, if you get a 4-star you already have at C6, you're getting 5 of that Masterless Star Glitter. 5 Masterless Star Glitter can immediately buy you another summon. So it's essentially free every time you get one of those, which is really nice. But if you happen to have a 5-star at C6 and you pull a duplicate, you get 25 of the Masterless Star Glitter, which means you get 5 summons back, which can like be pretty useful once you start to fill out those standard banner characters. Now, I don't think most people have the standard banner characters actually completed, like C6, because I'm not even close. I've only pulled 2 the entire time I've been playing the game. Granted, I haven't really spent any money. Spent a little bit, but not as much as people who do have lots of stuff. And I've only gotten 2, and both of them were Diluc. So if we keep pulling Dilucs, it might happen. But at the rate we're going, unlikely to happen anytime soon, unless we try to C6 someone. I think the second we try to C6 a character is where we're going to start getting a lot of those standard banner characters, which is kind of why I'm interested in trying to C6 like Ganyu. I mean, really Ganyu, because she's so good. I'm going to use her forever, probably, because I don't see her getting outclassed anytime soon. And it would add all of those extra characters that I haven't really gotten to make use of to my party. So I think like one single C6 summoning session for someone could be really big for my box. There's another Zhangling. I think that gives us C2 Zhangling. How close are we getting here? This one will be summon number 70. And we're really going... Oh, there's our 5-star. I was just about to say we're going the distance. It's Diluc again. You can see it gave me 10 Masterless Star Glitter. But what is this? What is this game? How can I not get any other 5-stars off of the standard banner except for Diluc? Like, you gotta be kidding me, right? That's... You're killing me, man. I mean, I guess that's where that one ends, right? We will be right back with the rest of it. But that's this part. So let's take a look at what all we got. Because we know we got Constellation 6 Noelle, which is great. Her Elemental Burst here is getting the extra 3 levels. And then the big constellation for her is her Elemental Burst will now get an additional 50% of her defense. So right now it scales with her defense. We can actually look at it. It scales off of a certain amount based on the level, and with those extra 3 levels, it's actually boosted this quite a bit. It used to be in the high 50s, like 57 or 58. Now it's 68% of my defense. And with this constellation, that's going to go up to 118% of my defense. And that's just always when I'm using her Elemental Burst. Plus, it has the secondary effect of every time you defeat someone within the duration of your Elemental Burst, it's going to give you an extra second to the duration, up to 10 seconds, so up to 10 kills. And that just, if you can kill one thing, an extra second of that ability, because that's where all of her damage is coming from. She's not really doing any damage besides that. So the more you can make it last, the better. If you're like hitting a boss and you happen to kill like an ad or 2 in the background, 2 extra seconds of her ability is going to just make her do thousands more damage because of how I have her built. She'll be doing a lot more damage only when the skill is up. So that's a really good one to get for me. And since she's my main healer, Granted, I still haven't gotten her to level 90 yet. I only have one character at level 90. I've ascended Venti. I haven't done Zhongli or Noelle yet because I don't know which one to do first and I can only do one. But, I mean, it'll come. It's not really necessary where I'm at because I can like do everything. I can do all the domains that I need to and stuff, so I'm not that concerned. If we look at Zhang Ling, now Gyoba is going to reduce Pyro Resist, which just means as a support for a Pyro character, she'll make them do 15% more damage, or as a support for herself, she'll just do 15% more damage, which is pretty good. And then the last attack in her normal attack sequence, Implode status on the opponent for 2 seconds. An explosion will occur once this duration ends, doing some of her attack. If you're using her as a support, this does nothing for you because you're not going to be auto-attacking as her. But if you're using her as a main DPS, it's going to be great. Just add free damage to your attack strings. Now, we got another official constellation, which is number 4. When Midnight Phantasmagoria is used, it deals 222% of attack as electro damage to the surrounding opponents. When the skill's duration ends, Fischl regenerates 20% of her HP. So this is really going to help her survivability. And did it not always do a burst of damage right when you use it? I was under the impression that it did. What is Falling Thunder? Fischl takes Oz's form, strikes nearby opponents with lightning. So maybe it just does 222% extra? Or does it do that as well? I mean, what I just said just means the exact same thing. I think it already does a small explosion. I think that explosion is just going to do more damage. And then the regenerating of HP is pretty good, especially if you're using her as a main DPS. As a support, she probably won't get hit very often, so it's not that big a deal. But, I mean, you are going to cast Midnight Phantasmagoria, so it doing way more damage is a plus. Now, who do we got over here before we do Diluc? We're almost done with Xingqiu, huh? This is just going to be a skill upgrade for his Rain Screen. Which one's Rain Screen and which one's Rain Cutter? Rain Cutter is his burst, Rain Screen is his E. So just giving extra levels to that. What does extra levels actually do on this ability? It might increase the damage reduction, and it definitely increases the skill damage. So why don't we see what it does once we actually get this, because it'll show up immediately. Okay, so yeah, it does increase the damage reduction. Doesn't help you with the duration or the cooldown at all, but it is going to give you extra skill damage. So the final one we got to talk about before we get back to summoning is Diluc. Now Diluc, the only standard banner character I seem to get, and I still haven't built him because, like I said, I already have Klee built. So it's kind of difficult for me to build him. Last time we got 15% more damage to anyone above 50% HP. Now what we're getting is when Diluc takes damage, his attack increases by 10% and his attack speed increases by 5%. This lasts for 10 seconds. This effect can stack up to 3 times and can only occur once. Wait, why are Diluc's constellations so stupidly strong? That is insane. 10% extra attack speed and attack? Oh, no. It's 5% attack speed, 10% attack. Still, this guy is your main, like if you're using it means your main DPS. He's auto-attacking. So just raising his attack is stupid, and just raising his attack speed is also stupid. Oh my god, that constellation is also nuts. So far we haven't seen a not nuts constellation from Diluc. The game continues to want me to build Diluc, but like, maybe I just will. Maybe I'll just cave in and just build Diluc. But first we got Ganyu that we need to build once we pull her, which will be next time because it didn't happen this time. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next one.